Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, YouTube and Instagram both. And we will get started here in a second. If you could imagine your ideal way of working. Okay, I'm seeing some thumbs up. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Today, we're going to talk about F1 visa interview day tips and tricks to help you successfully get your F1 visa. So we're going to get started fairly quickly here. I'm just checking quickly on YouTube. Give me a thumbs up or type in the chat if you can hear me okay, and then we'll just get started. So I hope everyone is excited. To begin with, tell me in the comment section below, where is your interview, which country you're from, if you've gotten your visa interview date or not. Just type that in and we'll jump into it. I want to keep it short and simple, maybe 10, 15 minutes today to be cognitive, to be cognizant of everyone's time and being mindful. So, okay, let's start. So to begin with, interview day is coming up. First of all, know that everyone is nervous and it's okay. But we're here to make sure that your nerves are within control on the day of your interview so you can put your best foot forward and answer effectively and get your F1 visa. That's what you're there for. So everyone's put in a ton of time and energy preparing for this interview. And the day is almost here. So what do you do? To begin with, let's start with when your interview is the next day or in the next few days. As you do that, keep in mind a few things that you should consider. First of all, the more uncertainty you can remove from the equation, the better you're going to feel, the more confident you're going to feel. And confidence is key to getting your visa, along with obviously effective communication. So, what do you do? First thing, make sure you have robust travel plans. What I mean by that is, for a lot of you, you will not be interviewing in the city that you live in. For some of you, you will, which is really great because it's a city that you're familiar with and you feel more at home. For those who are traveling, obviously there's a certain amount of anxiety that comes with traveling, nervousness, and all of that. So make sure your travel plans are not last minute, they're well thought out. You make it into the city that you're going to interview in the day before. Ideally, for some, you may make it in the day off. That's okay too. But regardless of what you do, the preparation starts a day before. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, first of all, make sure you get a good rest, a full night's sleep. That is important because if you're well rested, you're going to feel energetic the next day and you're going to perform better. It's natural before a big day, there will be certain amount of nervousness and you may not be able to sleep well. So make it a point to sleep well, get some rest so you wake up fresh. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is make sure you know where the visa consulate is, where you're going to interview, and make yourself familiar with the area around it. What you want to avoid is showing up on the day off. Let's say your interview is at 10 o'clock, you show up there at 9:30, and you're fumbling around trying to figure out which building to go into, how the lines are formed, what is around, what is not around. You're going to have a lot of anxiety. So I recommend that you go visit the consulate. If you have an option, just go, 24 hours prior. So for example, if your interview is at 10 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever time it is, go on that same time the previous day to the place. Just stand there, observe for 30 minutes how things are happening. How are the students going in? How are the students coming out? How are other visa applicants? It may not just be students, right? Others also, there'll be other types of visas, how visa applicants are going in. What that'll do is it'll give you a test run, if you will, of how your experience is going to be. And that'll ease you on the day off. So you become more familiar. Think about a time when you were driving or you were going to some place that you hadn't seen before. Obviously, there's a lot of unknown, but think about another place that you've already been to and now you're going again. You're a lot more calm, right? Same thing over here. The goal is to stay calm. The goal is to stay in control. The goal is to control the nervousness so you can perform better. So do that. Tip number three, as you go to the consulate, try to find a coffee place or something if you get there early and you need to wait. What I mean by that is, let's say you have an appointment at 11 o'clock and you get there at 9 o'clock because you don't want the traffic to disrupt you. You want to make sure that you found a mode of transportation, whether you're taking a taxi, whether you're driving, whether you're taking the local subway, train, whatever mode of bus transportation you have. Make sure you get there with plenty of time to spare. So once you're in the general proximity of the US consulate, then make sure you find a place where you can hang out for a little bit if you get there early, super early. And if you're in a place like India or a hot country, it might be very hot and even humid in some places. And you want to make sure that you're in a place that is at least air conditioned or in a shade or something where you're not sweating, you're not getting uncomfortable. So make sure you survey the area and figure out where you can park in case you get, when I say park as in where you can wait in case you get there super early. Let's say you get there at 10 o'clock, your appointment's at 10 o'clock. You know, maybe they call you at 9:45, maybe they call you at 9. It varies depending on each consulate. But let's say you get there at 8:45 in the morning and you have to wait for 45 minutes. Don't wait in the sun. Don't wait in a place that's going to make you uncomfortable. Wait in a comfortable. Number four, dress comfortably, right? You have to dress comfortably, but you also have to dress professionally. What I mean by that is you don't need to, for men, boys, guys, you don't need to put on like a full suit with a tie. You can put on like a button shirt, not this, there's a t shirt, but a button shirt, collared ideally, dress pants, leather shoes, or formal shoes. Essentially, think of how you would go for a job interview or how you would dress formally, not necessarily with a tie, but business casual. It may be called by different people differently. For ladies, look up what does professionally dressing in your country mean. It can vary country to country. Attires change. So for guys, it's a little bit more universal, but for ladies, dress appropriately. Make sure you avoid any super bright colors, any logos, anything of that sort, right? You want to come across as professional because interviews, impressions do make an impression. And so and that's about dressing, right? So dress comfortably. If it's hot, dress in clothes that breathe so you're not sweating. Make sure your clothes are ironed. Uh, they're presentable and all of that good stuff. And then, so those are a few tips. I'm going to get into it, but I want to take a second to look at the comments here so I can address those as well. So I'm going to look here. Here's where my screen's at. So I'm not ignoring you guys. And I'm just making sure. Someone's asking whether this is pre-recorded. No, it's not pre-recorded. This is live. I'm coming to you live. There are folks who are talking about interview dates. I'm going to just scroll through the comments here just to see. Someone is asking, is sponsor working in a Gulf country? Red flag. No, it is not. Be confident. Supriya is saying be confident and eye to eye contact with hand gestures and smile. Great advice. I agree with that. Other folks are saying when their interview is. All right. And then a bunch of folks are saying hi. So, hi, if you've joined a little late, welcome. We will post this after also, but we would love it if you can stay live. That's always fun for us, and we can answer your questions. All right. Okay. And then, can you make a playlist regarding F1 visa, but for those who take student loans is perfectly okay. Just FYI, it's an acceptable form. A lot of students take those, but yes, we have some playlists on our YouTube channels. By the way, quick plug here: if you're following us on Instagram and haven't checked out our YouTube content, make sure you do that. We have a ton of longer videos. We get into a lot of detail. Uh, and by the way, also connect with each other. We have a community. It's at community.greencardeasy.com. So be sure to connect with each other there also. All right, let's continue with the remaining F1 visa tips. Just to recap so far, if you've joined late, um, uh, we mentioned that arrive to the city your US visa consulate is in. Oh wow, look at that! It's giving an automatic thumbs up. Uh, be Arrive in the city, survey, go to the U.S. visa consulate, observe it if you can a day ahead. Find a place where you can wait if you arrive super early. Make sure you arrive in time. Make sure that your modes of transportations are all figured out. It'll make you calm. It'll make you more prepared. And then, other than that, we covered a little bit about dress professional. So now let's get into the day of the interview. You're there. Let's assume your visa interviews at 10 o'clock and you stand in the line at 9:30. They call you in at 9:45. Now, this is very important, so pay attention. A lot of folks think that your visa interview starts when you approach the visa window. That is not true. Your visa interview has started the second you wait in that line. And some of you guys may feel like, oh, that is a bit dramatic, but it's not. You may never know. Your visa officer may be passing you by, someone may be observing you. Happens all the time. First impressions matter. And so you have to get into the mindset to be professional, to be calm, to calm yourselves down. So as soon as you get in the line, there's a lot of excitement. You can talk to someone if that calms you down, but if it makes you anxious, you don't have to talk to anyone. You can just take deep breaths. You can think about your answers. Don't get super nervous, but practice a routine that'll help you stay calm and pay attention, actively listen. So you're not missing any instructions. And then you'll be escorted into the US visa consulate. You'll go through security, you'll go through your documentation checks, and you'll be assigned either a number. It varies based on consulate, but essentially you'll be assigned a number, and depending on the consulate, you'll be seated or you'll be put in a line to see a certain window or a certain officer. So in all of this, once you're in the building, it's going to be air conditioned. It's going to be, take the time to like calm yourselves down. Make sure you know what is allowed and what is not allowed in the consulate, so you're not bringing stuff that then you have to run out and all of that, right? So make sure all of that is thought off. Like minimize the disruptions you are going to cause to yourself. So once you're in the line, make sure your body posture is good, right? So once you're in the building, I want you to be more diligent about how you carry yourself. It's very important because the visa officers often, while interviewing, are checking out, scoping the room. They're looking at how many people are in line. They're trying to read the body language. They are very intelligent people who do this day in and day out. So do that. Next, once you are in the window and then you approach the window, the visa officer is going to call you depending on what your setup is when you go in. Start with a confident hello, officer, or good morning, officer, or good afternoon, officer. And say it with a smile. Try to remember, you're going to be nervous. Everyone is nervous, and the visa officers know that you and others are nervous, so they give you grace. But take that and you can say, "Good morning, officer," or "Good afternoon, officer." "Hello, officer. How are you?" All of these, a strong, confident, a good smile is always good, right? So you want to appear calm. You want to appear smiling. You don't want to have like you're cracking up, cheek to cheek grin necessarily, but professionally, pleasantly greet the visa officer. And that'll kick off your interview. But again, even before standing in the line, while standing in the line, make sure your body language is good. Next is when you're talking to the visa officer, when your visa interview has started, make sure you're having a conversation with the visa officer. That means actively listening to visa officers' questions. The number one thing I would say at this point is do not interrupt the visa officer. Depending on how people have conversation culturally, different parts of the world have different cultural uh, what would I say? Different cultural aspects of how conversations happen. But when you're talking to U.S. visa consular officer, just make sure you're not interrupting them. So actively listen. If something is unclear, okay, you don't have to presume that and answer something thinking that you are somewhat familiar or you somewhat heard it. If you didn't hear it, just say simply, "Excuse me, officer, I couldn't catch that or I couldn't hear you. Could you please repeat your question?" Say that. Say it calmly. They'll repeat their question, right? Understand the question and answer it accordingly. Have a conversation. Don't go with premeditated answers. That's the number one way to get your visa rejected. When you say what you've learned, we advise against it. Just a quick tangent, but a lot of agents and local uh, folks, consultants tell like, hey, these are the right answers. It's not the right answers. There are no right answers. The right answer, so to speak, is your conversation, your authentic story. So make sure you listen to the visa officer carefully. Do not interrupt. While listening, the visual cue that you can provide to the visa officer is you can have a slight smile and you can nod. Not like that necessarily, but just a slight face gesture, letting them know that you're actively listening to them. Make that eye contact. You want to look at them. You want to have your face naturally rested. You want to stay relaxed. Listen to them and answer carefully. Make sure you're breathing fine. If you catch yourself speeding up a little bit, happens to everyone, slow down. You don't have to be super slow, but a conversational speed, and speak to them casually, speak to them professionally, speak to them normally. Those are the key things. Um, Smile when you can, when you're actively listening, when you're speaking, that is important. Speak clearly. If you speak too fast, you're going to fumble. You're not going to pronounce your words. They're not going to understand. You don't have to fake an accent. You don't have to speak in an American accent. You do not have to. You can speak in your normal accent. They are used to locals. They live there. They understand local accents. They want to know the substance, not the style. That is the most important. They want to know your story. They want to have a conversation with you. And that's exactly what you need to give them. So essentially, that's what you need to do. And by the way, we have a full video of additional tips. And I am going to give you a keyword. Just type in the comments, type in F1 visa interview day all together, or you can say F1 space visa space interview space day. F1 visa interview day, and you'll get a DM which will link you to a full video that we've done. I think there are 7 or 8 tips that I've done on our YouTube channel. You'll get a link to that. So go and watch it. That's additional information on it. So those are most of the things that I wanted to cover. And one final thing, when you do get your visa, right? When the visa officer says something like, "Congratulations, you've got your visa." If you have a speaker, you can say, "Thank you, visa officer," hang up, and then leave. Right? That's what I want you to do. Yes, Kamal Kar, you F1 visa interview day. I see a bunch of comments coming in. Perfect. Type in F1 visa interview day exactly like that. You'll get a link to the video, and in your DM, check your DM. So when you get your visa, right? Thank the visa officer for their time. It's a moment to celebrate. But as soon as you get congratulations, say thank you, visa officer. Hang up, collect your belongings, and leave. And that's it. And then it's time to go celebrate. And we're going to make more content on this. We're going to do more live every Sunday at the same time, 11 a.m. Dallas Central Time, or that's US Central Time. We're going to do these. We're going to do more about more content about after you get your visa. What are the things that you should do to prepare? Some money saving tips, other things, how to save money, how to pack better, how to prepare for your ongoing journey. A lot of fun content, a lot of content that is going to help you save money, plan your travels to the US better, be successful. And again, one of the things I cannot insist enough is we rise together. We form this channel to help each other. So help each other, send and share this. Obviously, we do this, share this channel with your friends, but most importantly, go to community.greencardeasy.com, comment there, connect with people. Networking is what's going to make you successful in the US. We'll talk about that more, but I just wanted to share that. And if you're coming late again, you can type in F1 Visa Interview Day for a DM to our video with 8 tips, I think, for the visa day. All right. I'm going to monitor the chat really quick to see if there are any questions that I haven't gotten to. Someone's asking me, are you a former visa officer? I am not a former visa officer, but I am a former student who got my F1, came to the US, worked on H-1B, eventually got my green card, and I've been a US citizen for more than 5 years. And I am very passionate about helping students and immigrants succeed who want to come in the US, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. So we've talked to official folks, a lot of admissions committee members in universities. We've talked to visa officers. We've talked to former students. We've done a comprehensive check and information collection and then developed framework that has helped so many hundreds of our students succeed, maybe even more so. Just to continue that a little bit, last year there was 36%, so more than 1 in 3 F1 visa applicants were rejected. But the students who follow our guidance, our framework, they have an insanely high success rate, more than 99%. And by the way, if you are looking for personal coaching, we do offer that at a cost. It's at a reasonable cost. If you are interested, go to greencardeasy.com, and then up top in the menu, look for visa services or expert visa services, expert services, and you'll see the option. We offer a combo package, which is strategy and mock visa interview. Almost all our students who take that succeed because of the framework and how we prepare them. So there you go. Some of the other questions I'm going to go over are, is there a red flag if you have a master's degree and you're going to attend a master's degree? Again, no, it's not a red flag. As long as you can tell why you want to go to the US successfully, why you're getting that second master's degree. We've had plenty of students who've been there and gotten that, who've done double masters. Let's say how to be confident. Preparation. Preparation is the key. If the more you're prepared, the more confident you're going to be. A few people are saying, is mentioning a professor important in visa interview? If they ask why this program or why this university, if it makes sense, and if you had conversations with professors whose courses you're interested in, it ties to your long-term goals, yes, it is. It warrants mentioning. Should we need to change our university after first rejection? Not necessarily. You can still go. It's important to understand why you were rejected before. So if you want, we can help you with that. We've helped a ton of students who've been rejected get their visa in the second attempt. Obviously, your chances go down. It's always best. We recommend getting your visa in the first attempt, but if you can't, second attempt, we've helped students. I'm going to look through some final comments, and then I think that's it. We'll post this video again to our channels, but thanks for joining. We're going to do this regularly every Sunday, 11 a.m. US Central Time, different topics, focused on students, focused on US, focused on savings, travel to the US, and really helping you succeed. So if you haven't followed us, follow us already. We are on YouTube. Check us out there. Lots of video and content there. If you're following us on YouTube right now, go to Instagram, follow us. If you haven't, we post some content there. Thanks, everyone. This was a lot of fun for me. Thank you for participating. I love these sessions, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys even more. Good luck, and hope you all are successful in getting your visas, and wishing you all the best. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Bye, YouTube.